The cover for your comic is probably one of the most important things that you have to do when creating your own characters and your own title. So, how you go from here to here? That's coming up next. Hello everybody, Adrian9 here, and today we're going to be talking about how to create a comic book cover from concept, from the very beginning until the finished product that we'll see print. I'm going to be using some examples from my own title, Blood Brothers. If you want to check out that comic, links in the description. So let's dive into it. There are a few steps in creating a comic book cover efficiently. The first thing, of course, is knowing what the comic is about. In this case, that will be having a finished script for the whole comic. If you, like me, are a writer and the artist of the comic, this will be easy. If you're only the artist, then take the script from the writer, read it like maybe 2 or 3 times, and start taking notes on key scenes. This will be easy if you're a visual artist. You will have no problem picking some scenes that stand out from the script. Sometimes the writer will tell you an idea for the cover, an emotion probably. If you read the comic and it's a love story, or it's a mystery, or it's a suspense, terror, action, there is an emotion that goes through the whole comic. Probably the key scenes on that comic refer to this emotion. Like I showed you in the beginning of the video, this is the original sketch that I did for cover of Blood Brothers issue number 4. I did several versions of that sketch. There are several things that you need to keep in mind when doing a cover. I wanted to create a scale, an epic cover with multiple characters, show different sizes of characters, different type of characters, anthropomorphic, human, superhero-like, and also I have to introduce a new character. Some key points when designing this character. Remember that the human eye goes from left to right. So if you can create that movement in the cover, for example, you can see that I placed my new character on the left of the cover, and then I created like a line that moves up and to the right. That was intentionally so you can scan all the characters starting for the new one that is going to be introduced later in the comic. The more you think about your comic cover and introduce these design elements, the more effective it's going to be. Okay, now we know the comic, what it's about, we know the characters, we have done some sketches. It's time to move to the actual page. I try to respect my original sketches as much as I can, but when you move to the final art of the comic cover, there are other elements that you need to pay attention to, like the logo placement, if you want to include blurbs or creator credits. That also goes into designing a comic book cover, because everything takes space from the art. In the case of the logo, I think I prefer a very plain logo, not so big that takes so much space on the art. Something important is have an expression on your character. That helps create an emotion. Sometimes you only have one character in place, but that one character is representing something else than just being stand there and doing nothing. Sometimes it could be a facial expression, body movement, the place where they are standing. it all plays an element in the composition of the image. I'm gonna give you some examples of my own comic book character. I'm gonna give you two examples. First example, I did a really bad cover for Blood Brothers number 2 with only two characters playing a part. There is a juxtaposition of characters. One that is very powerful, that is the woman, Captain Celine, and there is a weak or beaten up character that is Billy. But I think it was too weak, very lame cover. The pose is awkward. It just didn't work for me. So I'm gonna show you the new version of that cover, and that is a better example of what happens in the comic because it's a group of military women that takes on our characters by surprise. You can see the expression of Billy that he doesn't know what's happening and he's being taken off guard. And you can see on the expression of the ladies that uh, what their intentions are. So that's example number one. Example number two, example that we've been working on this entire video is basically creating a massive destruction scene and positioning all the characters from left to right. But also, if you see all the emotions on their faces on the characters, there is surprise, terror, freaking out, just plain out unbelief. Um, that's another way, that's another design tip, if you will, to keeps emotion going on the piece. If you have a scene like this that you want to create a massive thing in your comic book cover, then by all means remember to have some of your characters having distinct reaction to what's happening to them. Uh, Probably because your characters are very different from each other too. Display their inner world, their backstory by showing an expression on their faces. Now, for the last part, I do my pencils and I do my inks. After that is the coloring process, and the coloring also plays a part on the finalization of a comic cover. For this example, I also did the flats and I have color reference for all the characters, and I left a colorist finish the job and do the best that they can. I don't like to micromanage colorists. I let them uh, have freedom, but the only note that I knew that I wanted in this comic cover is that it was a sunset. Um, because otherwise having this epic scene at night would be like a little bit cliche. I don't know if you think the same, but for me it is. So yeah, I supposed to be an afternoon sunset kind of things. You can see a lot of warm. You can see a lot of warm colors, and I think that will make it a little bit more. I don't know, realistic. I don't know. Um, probably that will be make. Probably that will make it a little bit more cartoony. Maybe it stands with warm colors. It will stand out a little bit more from the shell. From probably with warmer colors, it will stand out a little bit more from the shelves. Uh, that if it's dark, I think it's gonna be lost among other things. So if you are not doing colors for your cover, please hire a professional colorist, uh, somebody with a lot of experience that will totally help you sell that book. If you have reference, send a reference. If you are a colorist yourself, this of course would be easier. But for me, in my case, I'm not a colorist, so I hire a professional colorist. I'm gonna leave two links in the description with two friends of mine that are really good colorists, and you can hire them for a very reasonable price. So that's it for me, guys. Hope you find this tutorial helpful. This is my experience creating comic book covers. I think I learned something in all these years by, of course, making a lot of mistakes and then correcting them. Also by hearing people, your readers' reaction is important. Hope my mistakes and my experience helps you. Please leave a comment if you like this. If I left something out and you have tips or recommendations for me, for my comic, please leave in the comment. Please consider subscribing. More material like this will be coming soon. So I'll see you on the next one.